I know you've seen my resume and we've talked on the phone, so you know about my international experience and all of the education details and all of those other things. And you asked me particularly about my communication skills. So I thought, what better way to express this than in a story? So I'm going to tell you a story about a, a particular client that I went to go see as part of an away team. So a crack team that would go to a client and see if we could actually perform the work that we were contracted to perform. And it was I'll just say that it was a Nordic country and a very established large corporation, European. We went there and we were having some difficulties relating both culturally and business wise. It looked like the gears weren't in sync when we were going to start our services. Would we start them? How our processes would work together? And one of the things that they did, which I thought was really quite brilliant, was they brought us the away team, a lot of professionals from their company, their management, several other people, into a boardroom, a very large boardroom, almost appeared to be a classroom, really, but with a couple of consultants they had hired to do a Lego kind of team building experience. So they split us up into the teams that were going to be working together, and I have to be honest that the team I was working with were very resistant, very difficult, very not happy with the way we were proposing we were going to do business, the interactions, the services. So we were struggling, and actually what the Lego kind of exercise allowed us to do was to they instructed us, can you talk about your experiences, how these original talks were doing at the beginning of this. I guess it was around the second day of a 2 week workshop. We were all instructed to build this, and we also had a certain amount of time to present what these Lego things that we were building represented. A little odd, a little unusual for a very established, cut and dry North American organization that I worked for, but in the end, what I built was this like a we had a little board you had to build your Lego thing on, and I built this. It was a Lego figure kind of behind a wall, and kind of pounding on the wall with a couple of the bricks falling off. And then in the middle of the board, I put a skeleton walking from that wall to another couple of Lego figures, where a Lego figure was then approaching them with its arms outstretched and kind of some Lego bricks randomly distributed around them. So when it came my time to present, they asked me, okay, well, what does this montage that you built mean, and how does it relate to your first couple of days working with this company? And the way I described it was that I had arrived at these negotiations, at this startup of our relationship, with some preconceptions, with some ideas, with some cultural baggage, let's call it, and really hit a wall dealing with these people that I was supposed to be dealing with. So what I did, and what the skeleton kind of was supposed to represent, were I had tried to break the wall down. I had tried to shed all of my preconceptions, and then went over to shake their hand and meet them on their terms, with the wall kind of in pieces around us. Now, this might seem silly, and in fact, even some of the management, and again, I didn't understand the hierarchies, I didn't understand the political landscape, didn't speak the language, didn't really understand the cultural nuances of how they did business. But as I explain this, my preconceptions, how I try to strip myself of them, how I try to then meet the client on common ground, the partner really, on common ground, I could tell the crowd was becoming more and more receptive to this. And then there was this vote on who was going to which Lego montage appealed to the group that was there most. And in fact, mine won. Most people voted that you were supposed to carry these certain colored bricks around and push them in the board that you thought represented more accurately the relationship, how things were going. And mine actually won. And it's funny because these people that I've been dealing with that up until that point were really standoffish. They were adversarial. They had problems with every detail. Voted for my montage. We became a posse. And in fact we remain friends to this day. Also, I found the whole tone of the relationship between the two companies changed. It became more of a let's see what we can work out together. If you suggested a reasonable idea, it wasn't automatically rejected. So I felt, it's funny, even though I wasn't responsible for the Lego kind of session that we had with these consultants that this company had hired, I decided, let's see what we can do. Let's see what we can get out of this. Let's see what kind of communication we can effect through this Lego montage building explanation session. And I believe it really worked. And eventually we had a long and successful relationship with this company. So again, I'm not going to go on about my story in particular, about my experience and my linguistic skills and all those other things, just to give you an idea of, this was a very successful moment where I think different cultures, different business cultures especially, managed to get together and have a very successful relationship. Thank you.